Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to this channel. As always, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And you know what? Trust your own intuition above all else. Now, this reading, it feels incredibly powerful. And right away, there's a strong sense that many of you have been carrying something heavy for quite some time. You've been doing the inner work, you've been pushing through all those challenges that keep coming up. You've been questioning your path, and you have most certainly been wondering when things would finally begin to shift. The cards that I pulled, they're showing that the shift is already underway. So let's begin, you guys. I pulled a couple cards from the Ancestor deck. And before we get into the main reading, let's look at those. The first card is the Child of Ash and Dawn. Through ash and light, you rise into your next becoming. And you know what? The energy here is very much giving the phoenix energy. Honestly, there's something that is ending, but not in a painful way. It's more like you've outgrown an old version of yourself, and the person you were a year ago, or 6 months ago, or maybe even a few weeks ago is not the same person standing here right now. Your ancestors, they're reminding you that growth often comes after periods of challenge. The ashes represent everything you've survived, and the dawn, it represents what you're becoming. So then we have the lineage healer. You break patterns by choosing differently. So many of you are ending cycles that have existed in your family line for generations. This could be patterns around money, relationships, self worth, fear, people pleasing, scarcity, or even settling for less than what you truly deserve. The healing, it doesn't happen because you're perfect. It happens because you choose differently, and one different choice at a time. It helps you heal, and your ancestors seem incredibly proud of the progress that you have been making, you guys. So, congratulations. So, moving on to the next deck. First, we have promotion. Now, for some of you, yes, this could literally be a promotion at work. But honestly, for many of you, this feels bigger than that. This feels like a life promotion, a leveling up, an elevation. Um, and spirit is showing that you've been learning lessons, gaining wisdom, and proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you once believed. And the ladder on this card, it reminds us that growth happens step by step. You don't have to leap to the top of the ladder overnight. You just have to keep climbing. So, next we have movement. Finally, something that has felt stuck is beginning to move. You've been waiting for answers, opportunities, communication, progress, or even signs from the universe. In this card, it suggests that the energy is no longer stagnant, you guys. Um, Things are beginning to shift. The wind doesn't ask permission before it changes direction, it just simply moves. And that's exactly what this energy feels like. Then we have awakening. And this, my friends, it feels like clarity is arriving. Um, Seeing something different, realizing something you couldn't see before. And for some, this could be a spiritual awakening. And for others, it may be waking up to your own worth, waking up to your own power or the truth of a situation. But all in all, the fog is lifting. The pieces are starting to make sense. So next comes fulfillment. And this card, it really truly feels so beautiful. There's a sense of emotional satisfaction here, something you've hoped for, worked towards, prayed for, or dreamed about. It appears to be drawing closer. And this isn't the energy of settling by no means. This is the energy of finally feeling full after a long period of feeling empty. So then we have blessing. And this card, it, it almost feels like confirmation. It's spirit saying that what's coming, it isn't random. It's a blessing. It's something you've been preparing for, even when you didn't realize it. So some of you, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I had a little frog in my throat for a sec. Some of you, you've been wondering whether all your effort in healing and patience has been worth it. And this card, honestly, it's screaming yes, absolutely yes, right? So I wanted to look at the bottom of the deck, even though I don't usually do bottom of the deck, but you know what? I was like, yeah, let's do it. And at the bottom of the deck, we have burden. And you know what? This tells me exactly why the rest of these cards, they feel so significant. You've been carrying so much. You've had so much responsibility and so much to worry and too much emotional weight, too many things that were never entirely yours to carry. And here's the interesting thing, you guys. The burden card, it sits underneath all of these positive cards, right? It's almost like spirit is saying the blessing arrives when the burden is released, not because you have to earn it, but because your hands need to be free to receive it. Um, so I pulled a few clarifiers just to understand this a little bit better. And the first card was return. So something is coming back around, you guys, and this could be an opportunity, a dream you thought was gone, a path you once considered, right? And for some people, it may even be a person that's returning to you. Uh, but what stands out here is that this return, it feels different because you yourself are different. So the next card we have for the clarifiers is temporary. And this feels like spirit is reminding you that whatever challenge you're facing right now is not permanent. It's temporary. The stress, the uncertainty, the waiting, the confusion, it's all temporary, you guys. It was never meant to become your forever. This is not your, you know, new reality, right? So, next, we have surrender. And this is where many people struggle. And that's like, honestly, including myself. I struggle with surrendering. And it's not because surrender means giving up, it really doesn't. Surrender means releasing the need to control every detail. Now, full disclosure, I'm a Virgo, so that is a task in and of itself. Like just so for me, I have a great challenge of releasing every little detail. So, anyways, we have to learn because now I gotta say we have to learn that trusting that not everything has to be figured out all at once today, right? And trusting that the universe can meet you halfway, right? So, finally, we have proceed. And this, my friends, it looks like your green light to move forward. Take the step, send in your application, start that project you've been thinking about. Have that conversation that's been gnawing at your every single nerve in your body. Trust the nudge that you have. You don't need every answer before you begin. The energy here is saying proceed. So I pulled a card from the Just Be deck, and what we got here is just be honest. And I love her on this card. Like she's so cute. Honestly, she's so cute. But anyways, the Message on this card is speak and live from the heart. Integrity shines through sincerity, and your openness invites trust, clarity, and genuine connection. Um, you guys, speak your truth. Be your real self. Be real with others. If something isn't working, acknowledge it. If something excites you, admit it. If your heart is pulling you in a certain direction, for heaven's sake, stop pretending you didn't feel it. Um, honestly, honesty creates clarity. And clarity, it creates movement. So be honest. Be honest with yourself, most importantly, but be honest with others, and you'll see it will do something. Anyways, next we have a synchronicity card from the Universe Whispers deck, and what we got here is the praying mantis, the little alien bug, as I like to call them, because they look like little aliens. Seriously. Um, the message on it is a reminder to be still, trust your intuition, and move only when the moment is right. And honestly, if you've been seeing praying mantises, the image of them, hearing them mentioned, or simply drawn to them, this is your confirmation, you guys. The praying mantis, it reminds us to be still, and not every moment requires any action. Um, Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is just sit there and listen, observe, trust your intuition, and move when have the timing it feels right. Um, this reading, it's been a beautiful balance between surrender and action. Um, be still long enough to hear your guidance, you guys, then proceed when the door is open. And that in and of itself, you really need to know when to be still and when to move. So you got to trust your intuition, right? So, anyways, I pulled some initials cards, and please remember initials, they can represent a person, place, business, street, pet, username of some sort, company, or something that is meaningful to you. If you have a connection to it, take it. Take it. If it resonates, that's your confirmation to you. So the first one we have is M for move. And honestly, that's a sign for movement that is happening, or it's time for you to make a move. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword there with a praying mantis, but hey, it's saying move, so move. Michael, Matthew, Melissa, Mia, are you from Michigan? Anyways, next up is V for value. And honestly, Spirit is reminding you to recognize your value and stop settling for less. Victoria, name or place. Vanessa, Vincent. Anyways, next card is Y for yes. And honestly, this feels like a confirmation card, you guys. You've been asking the questions, and many of you already know what the answer is. And the answer here is Y for yes. Um, Yvonne, I don't know. I can't come up with Y names. If you have any Y names, drop them down, please. I'd like to know. And if your name is a Y name and you're either Yvonne or somebody else, let me know. Anyways, next card is X for extra blessings. And we got Xavier, Xander, Zinnia. Um, but anyways, extra blessings are on your way, you guys. It feels like it's unexpected and it's arriving in surprising ways, you guys. So F is for forgive or faith or Frank, Frederick, Fred, Freddie. Freddie Mercury's coming to my mind now. Anybody listening to Queen? Anyways, you guys, forgive. It may be helping you release one of those burdens that you've been carrying. So try and forgive. Um, D for decide. A decision point is approaching you guys. Trust yourself. You likely know more than you think you do, so make that decision. Um, Daniel, Donna, Diana, a dog named Dallas. Anywho, so to sum it all up, okay? Um, you've been carrying a lot for a very long time, whether it's stress, responsibilities, worries, old wounds, family patterns, perhaps, or just feeling like you've had to hold everything together. The cards here, they're saying you're reaching the point where that weight starts to lift. What's really interesting is that this isn't a reading about struggle. It's a reading about what happens after the said struggle. There's movement where things have felt stuck, and there's clarity where things have felt confusing. There's a sense that something you've been hoping for, working towards, or quietly praying for is finally beginning to come together. Your ancestors are basically saying, look how far you've come, you guys. You're not the same person you were before. You've learned lessons, and honestly, you've broken cycles and made different choices than you might have made in the past. And that is why new opportunities and blessings are showing up right now. The biggest advice from Spirit, it's to stop trying to force everything. Release what isn't yours to carry. Trust in the timing, and when the opportunity appears, don't overthink it. Take the step, right? And you know what, you guys, overall, this feels like the energy of something coming out of a long season of growth and finally starting to see the rewards for all the work that you've been doing behind the scenes. So, honestly, in short, the burden is lifting and the blessing is approaching. You just have to trust yourself enough to move when the door opens. So, my friends, if you're still with me, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for clicking on the video and for listening and for staying put. Um, it truly means the world to me. If you could like, share, subscribe, or share it with a friend that might need to hear this message or might resonate with this message, I would really, really appreciate it. Um, if you can comment down below how this resonates, I would love to hear your story. So, in any case, I want you to have the best day or night ever, wherever you are in this world. Thank you so much. Until next time, my friends. Bye bye.